What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna talk a bit about this Motorsport Games financial call. It came and went. I didn't even hear about it till I was tagged by a few people. I went through it already. I'm gonna skim through it. I'm only gonna try to hit the main points. But there's something very strange about this whole thing. There's also an article that's connected to what's happening at Motorsport Games. Now, I don't know anything for sure. This is strictly my spider sense tingling, right? Uh, if not spider sense, disco ball is flashing, right? Something strange, or I should say, something I'm not really fully understanding. Maybe one of you guys knows something I don't, and you can correct me on this. This is not a definitive statement on my part. I'm just talking out loud, and it really concerns this whole the rumors that came out that exclusivity is finally going away, but nothing's been made official, right? Uh, September 30th, I guess, is the big day that everything is going to be revealed. Let me go through this earnings call or whatever the fuck this is. But um, anyway, it says reports are in. They don't look optimistic. Motorsport Games has made its second quarter earnings report public, which presents a bleak outlook on the company's future. So what else is new? It's the same. It's more of the same. You guys are gonna see. Um, MSG might not even see the end of the year. What does this mean for the licenses of racing series it holds? So let's see. As Motorsport Games is listed on the NASDAQ, companies required to. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Same old shit from every other time. Companies. Okay, hold on. Stephen Hood highlighted positive events of the second quarter. I'm going to tell you something. Even though there's a new CEO, it's the same old spiel that we got from DK. There's nothing new here. It's almost word for word what we would hear from DK himself. Let's move forward. Announcement of Le Mans Ultimate and key updates to R Factor 2. Surprisingly, the next gen car update. DLC for NASCAR Heat 5 was also mentioned as a highlight due to it being on track to become our most downloaded content update. Now, I don't think it shows up here. Um, I'll show you guys later. There's an article covering this stuff. They claimed they sold 35,000, I guess, copies or downloads of this DLC. Shame on every person who handed over money for that garbage. Shame on you. You are contributing to the game developers' bad business model, the way they're ripping consumers off. This is why companies like Rockstar just released Red Dead Redemption, the original 13-year-old game, didn't do anything new to it. It's not a remaster. They just ported it to Nintendo Switch and the PS4. That's it. That's all they did was port it, and they're charging $50 for it. And people they're outraged. There's countless complaints everywhere, all over social media. The people are roasting Rockstar, but this isn't the first time Rockstar has ripped people off, right? You guys remember the trilogy, that mess that they released, right? But here we have, they're charging $50 for a 13-year-old game. They did nothing to it except port it. But why are they doing this so brazenly, right? They do it without blinking an eye because they know they can get away with it. Because the gaming community is full of lemmings. 35,000. I even that even surprised me. Like, I know there's lemmings out there, but goddamn, how quickly they just hand over their money to one of the worst game developers we've ever seen. After what they did to with the NASCAR release of NASCAR Ignition, and they they couldn't wait to hand over their money for this DLC. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I had to point that out. I mean, shame on every person that gave these people their money for that garbage. So let's move forward. Which is surprising considering that Heat 5 is the predecessor to Ignition. Yeah, it's surprising, all right, that 35,000 people spent money on that. The latter saw an issue fill launch, blah, blah. Okay, who cares? We know the history. We know it turned out to be more garbage. Will MSG see the end of the year? Most interesting part of Q2 report, however, is the cash flow and liquidity section. These are key statements of the report. And more losses, 8.9 million in the first 6 months. This is crazy. I guess that means million. 8.9. Equivalents of 2 million. Same shit. It's just every fucking financial report has been the same. It's just they're hemorrhaging millions of dollars, and now options like equity or debt financing arrangements, selling licenses, or remember this part: selling licenses or company assets, and further cost reduction and restructuring initiatives are being explored, according to the report. This just means they're going to be firing people and laying people off. They're going to continue to cut. Here they have this IndyCar game. By the way, there's no release date for this, and people are starting to speculate we may not even see this game. Like it's supposedly so deep in development. There's no career mode, by the way. So this is crazy. As was rumored recently, NASCAR license is most likely on its way out from Motorsport Games. The company's most recent blah blah blah. All but confirms this. The sale of the NASCAR license is mentioned as one of the ways to reduce financial problems the company is facing, and MSG is currently in discussions with a third party for the potential sale of the NASCAR license. Okay, this is the first red flag that popped up for me. I'm not saying I know anything definitive. I'm just telling you that something is, like I said, the disco ball is flashing. Something is telling me there's something not quite right here. When I read that, I'm thinking, first of all, the rumors we heard about Motorsport Games losing exclusivity, right? I'm not saying that's not the case, but I have to put it in question now. First of all, how are they able to sell the license if they already breached their agreement? Remember, how people have been telling me, according to the agreement they had with NASCAR, there was an 18-month threshold that if they didn't release anything, that's it. They were in breach and they would lose the license or the exclusivity. But yet, all of this is happening, and yet they still have this option right here. Currently in discussions with a third party for the potential sale of the license, right? The document also confirms that development of all potential future NASCAR games under Motorsport Games has been put on hold indefinitely. So they still have an option to make a game, which I did discuss in an earlier video. I said losing exclusivity doesn't mean you could never make a game. It just means you won't be the only one. You're in an open market. So what are they selling? What gives them the right to sell the NASCAR license if they already breached their agreement? This should have nothing to do with Motorsport Games at this point. And if a third party wants to make a game, they need to talk to NASCAR, right? Because if exclusivity really is a thing of the past, okay, stay with me, then this license is worthless. Why would a third party come and pay Motorsport Games for the license that has no value unless it has value? And the only possible thing that the NASCAR license that Motorsport Game can have as that's considered valuable is exclusivity. So if you follow, I hope I'm explaining this right, but if you follow my train of thought, this leads me to believe exclusivity is still a thing and going to be a thing going forward, because where is NASCAR in all this, right? Now, I do believe NASCAR has to approve this sale or whatever, but the point is they are in discussions. They're actually negotiating the sale of the license. Why in the world would any third party even consider paying these people for a license unless there's value in it? And the only value this license ever had was exclusivity. So I have to question this rumor that everyone was like, oh, exclusivity's gone. Is it really gone? I'm not telling you that it's not. But what I am saying is it doesn't make sense to me. Why would anybody? Why not just wait till September 30th or whatever this deadline is and just say, I'm going to go talk to NASCAR now and work out my own license agreement with them? This is what it leads. I mean, it just brings up more questions than answers, right? I'm sure these answers are all going to come September 30th, right? And I'm sure that people out there who do know what's going to happen probably have these answers, right? I'm not one of those people, so all I can do is speculate. And nothing else makes sense to me if you follow what I'm saying. So this leads me to think exclusivity is still going to be part of a license going forward, no matter who is part of or takes over the license. So I hope I'm wrong, because exclusivity is a problem. I don't care who makes NASCAR games in the future. We want competition. We don't want just having, one person having the rights to making a NASCAR game and then there's no other option out there. Now, I did on many occasions and even recently talk about a developer has options to just create their own game. It's just fantasy based and not having any tie to NASCAR in an official capacity. Anybody can do it, right? And I've always talked about it because I do think there is a market out there for it. That's why we have 2 football games right now that are going to compete head to head with Madden, but not really compete because Madden is still going to be the official NFL game. But I'm telling you, a lot of people that have been playing Madden and are disappointed, you're telling me they're not open to going to check out Axis Football or Maximum Football, whatever the names of these games are, that are going to have full customization just because they're fantasy games. They're not tied to the NFL. Of course, there's a market for it, right? I'm not saying there's a huge market. I'm not even telling you that they're going to come close to selling what Madden Football sells, but Madden Football has been a mess for many years. And just like NASCAR games have disappointed people for many years now, there is room for a fantasy game. So that's always an option. And I talk about it because if you are a small developer out there or even a bigger developer, but you don't want the license or you don't think it's worth it to you financially, you can always make your own game. And that's neither here nor there. But I've already talked about it. But in terms of a licensed NASCAR game, this is weird. And again, those of you out there who understand this more than I do, please let me know what's going on, because it just that's what comes out to me. Something doesn't sound right. Wow. First of all, the fact that they can still sell this license and profit off of it, right? Now, I do think Motorsport Games is going to fold. There is nothing on the horizon. They're not even pushing or promoting this IndyCar game that they've been working on. And there are rumors they're going to fold by the end of the year. So they're just still hemorrhaging money. And now that they're losing their biggest IP, which is the NASCAR license, The what's this company going to be worth? It's already a black hole of money. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to explain here. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Are you with me or am I wrong? Like, if I'm wrong, let me know. Tell me how I'm wrong. But if there's no exclusivity or not going to be, then this license that they're selling or in discussions with a third party to sell is worthless. Why couldn't that third party just work a separate deal with NASCAR if there's no exclusivity involved? Exclusivity is the only possible thing that makes this license worth anything. So the fact that they, one, are selling it and are in discussions with a third party, um, how is that a thing if there's no exclusivity? So the red flag for me is I think exclusivity is still going to be a thing. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And I'm not 100% sure. But what else am I supposed to glean from this, right? So that's not good. Even if, like, the developer of your dreams, whoever it is, ends up getting the license and making games, you don't want them to have exclusivity. You want them to have an incentive to do a good job and not just try to monetize the hell out of a garbage product. Anyway, let's see. BTCC, IndyCar games doubtful. Simulation engine is also the framework. Blah 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 blah. Scheduled for release in December 2023. That's that Le Mans Ultimate, right? Oh, so that's scheduled to release. Uh, the company is evaluating its ability to deliver new titles under its other licenses. There's just this sounds. How is this any different from anything we've ever heard from DK? It's not. New CEO, same old bullshit salad. IndyCar, British touring car, which may result in further adjustments to the company's product road. They still talk about a roadmap. This is a joke. The only roadmap should lead to a fucking graveyard. These people are dying. What is this roadmap? So what does this all mean? Briefly summarize, MSG expects Le Mans Ultimate to be released in December as originally planned, but with more pressing issues at hand, all other projects seem to be on hold indefinitely. That includes IndyCar, because they said all other projects. What happened? I thought this game was in playable condition, and the fact that there's no career mode, what the fuck? According to all the fucking bullshit they've spewed in the past year, this game should be something that's ready for release at any moment, and it's not, which means that they're nowhere near in development as they've claimed all this time. They're full of shit. They're lying to everyone. They lied to their investors. I did see in another article that they're being sued by someone, an insurance company, I believe. So I don't want to get lost in the weeds on that. I just don't care anymore. The big news for me is that someone else is going to be making NASCAR games. That's the most important thing, and it's good news. But this exclusivity thing may not be a sure thing. Like the fact that everyone's saying it's exclusivity's gone. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. None of this makes sense. More licenses to move. Could these projects still be realized eventually? It's certainly possible if other companies step in it or purchase the relevant assets. The question is if anyone would be willing to do so. Should MSG be able to complete the sale of the NASCAR license, it might give the company enough of a boost to at least survive the rest of 2023 and release Le Mans Ultimate as planned. This is a joke. Wow. What if the company goes bust before then, though? While this might delay Le Mans Ultimate, it is hard to imagine Studio 397, the Le Mans Ultimate project, and Art Factor 2, which it is based on, not getting picked up by another party. The respective series might also terminate the licensing agreements, which could open the door for the return of iRacing Indy 500 special event, for example, blah blah blah, due to the exclusive license being with Motorsport Games. Meanwhile, raises studios as a resort semi-fictional version of 2023 IndyCar for Automobilista 2 instead of being able to license an actual Dallara R18. Well, at least somebody out there is smart enough to say, we'll fucking do a fictional version. I'm sure the people that play that game, Automobilista 2, are grateful they're at least doing that. And I mean, I know they prefer a licensed IndyCar product, but if they have to get something that's semi-fictional, they could still play it. It's still racing. They could still make it fun. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this. It's a big nothing burger, just same old. We're losing a shitload of money. We still have a roadmap. They never really get into detail. There's no news on what's going to happen with IndyCar or that Le Mans. Like it's all bullshit. It's just there's nothing different here that we haven't heard from DK himself. But for me, this is the big part of the the art of this financial call, whatever the fuck. Now, this isn't the official call. I didn't want to go through the whole thing. It's just I skimmed through it. It's just a lot of the same old, same old. But for me, that's the big thing that I got from all this. Motorsport Games is actively selling the license to somebody. They're still finalizing that deal. This third-party developer. Personally, I think it's iRacing, but who knows, right? There are people out there that think it's EA. I don't understand where people... there is absolutely zero proof out there that EA is even interested in making another NASCAR game. I don't think they see a profit in it. NASCAR is a niche market. It's not like NFL, like the NFL or any other sport. And they definitely don't want something without exclusivity. They don't like to compete. So what in the world would give anyone the idea that EA wants it is beyond me. It never made sense to me, but you never know. I might be wrong. We'll find out, right? I guess September 30th. But I really do think it's iRacing. They've actually shown interest. They floated the idea of a Dirt to Daytona remake or something, right? When Dale Jr. asked that question and put it on social media, it wasn't by accident, right? They're testing the waters. They're trying to gauge people's interest. And that's probably some viral marketing just early on to get people amped up. So that if and when they finalize a deal, you know, the ball's already rolling. Like people are already like looking forward to it. Excuse me. But we'll find out, right? We'll find out soon. It's still like 5 weeks away or so, give or take. But what do you guys think? Am I off my rocker here that exclusivity may still be part of this thing? Because why would anyone buy this license if it doesn't have exclusivity? It's worthless. And if it's not exclusive, that means anybody can just go direct to NASCAR and work out a deal. Why do you have to even deal with Motorsport Games? And also, this whole 18 months breach of contract thing, how are they still able to sell this license if they already breached the contract? NASCAR should just be able to pull it and say, you're done. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions here. More questions than answers. I want to see what you guys think. I look forward to your comments later.